Hi, my name is Gabriela from Tulip Art Designs, and in today's video I can help you get creative. We are drawing this, so if you are ready, let's get started. Hi, so in today's video I am showing you how I created this illustration. The outlines are in my free ebook. You can download it from my Patreon. I will link it below. And in the book you will find a photo of my original illustration, and then on the second page you will find this. You can print it on A4, and I have a video that came out in the beginning of this month where I show you a few ways how to transfer the lines on a watercolor paper, or you can check out the video how to print directly on a watercolor paper at home. So I will link everything below. So I already transferred the outlines, and the steps are: first we will ink our illustration, so we will ink the outlines, then I will add a little bit of details, then we will add watercolor to our flower, then we will watercolor the butterfly. In the end we will add some background. The last step will be adding a little bit of white detail lines, so the illustration will come to life. So let's quickly ink our outlines, and to keep it nice and natural I will just shake a little bit my pen. This will also make it look natural. It will make it look not perfect, but that's the real thing about flowers and everything in nature. There's no perfect lines, there are no petals that are completely the same. There is always just a little bit of difference. And for the center of my flower I will not fill it all with these detail lines, but I will try to make it more dense here on this side, and then on the other side I will just leave a few like this. My butterfly, then some long legs, and sometimes I am just making the lines a bit thicker. And even if you don't follow my lines perfectly, it's fine. It's okay. If you feel like you don't like your line, just make it a bit thicker and just add this thickness to the side you want to change your line. Okay, and if you want you can just put some music and ink your illustration, and then just watch the video when I am painting. It's absolutely fine. Okay, like this. I will add thickness to the bottom part of my elements like this, and maybe also the flower, just a little bit, just to give some character to my illustration. And the last step from my inking part will be to add a little bit of detail lines that will show the shape of my petals. So I am just following the direction of my petal, and then I make them different length, and you can just add 2-3 lines per petal, and that's gonna be absolutely enough. Now I just want to use the brush to cover the black part of my butterfly, because it's just faster, but you can also use watercolor for this. But in the next step you will see why I am using the brush, and this is waterproofed, so I can easily add watercolor directly on top of it. So let's just fill all these wings. It's not a big deal if you leave your pencil lines. The thing is that when you add watercolor, the watercolor will work as a mask, and it will not allow you to erase them after that. So let's just add some water to our paints to reactivate them, and then we will add water on our paper, and we are gonna use wet on wet technique because it's just extremely fun technique and I just love it. And I am adding just water because if I add first paint and then more paint, it will become too dark and then my ink lines will not be visible. So that's why I am literally painting with water, but that's even better because it's easy to control instead of painting with pigment, and it's absolutely friendly, beginner friendly, so everyone can make it. The only tip I have here is that if you don't fix your paper to the table, then you will be able to turn it a little bit, and if you have a puddle, then you can pick it up with your brush. Then we have some yellow. I will add a little bit more water here, and I will tap it to my paper towel so there will be not too much of this paint, and then I will tap on the paper and let the pigment bleed and just does its job. So we are not bothering. The only thing I am trying to do is to follow my lines, tapping on the edges. And if you think that you just added too much paint, you can dry your brush and pick it up. Maybe I can just demonstrate. Let's say you have too much and then you just drop it here and you have this big cover, then you can clean your brush and then dry it, pick it up and then dry again, pick up more, just like this. And then if it's too dry, you can add a little bit of water, and you have to work a bit fast with this technique, because if your paper dries out, then the paint will not bleed and it will stay where you touch the paper. So it's just a different technique. And just keep in mind that when it dries, it will dries lighter, so don't be scared if it's a bit darker. We can always add another layer because watercolor is transparent, and we can just work with the layers, and that's why our first one is a bit lighter, so we have space to work it out in case we don't like it. And if you know, just go out of the lines a little bit, it's fine, it's all fine. Sometimes this is the thing we are searching for, like that we want to make it a bit messy and we want to go out of the outlines so it looks more artistic. So like this, and then I will grab a little bit darker yellow. So here I'm using permanent yellow deep and my primary yellow, and I will add a little bit of yellow ochre. I will tap, and then I will quickly go inside again around the outlines, so on the edges, like this. And if you see that your paint doesn't bleed, then it means that your paper is already too dry and you need to re-wet it a little bit. And I'm making the ones in the background just slightly darker, so it looks like the front petal makes a shadow, but I'm not making anything concrete, just playing with the colors. And always, if you want more color, like here it's more vibrant and here it's more transparent, so if you think like, oh, but I want more, then you can definitely add another layer. Why don't we just end it? So I'm sorry for all the noises. Working from home means you also want to do some other work, or at least that's me, just always doing a bit more than I have to do, but it's okay. And then a bit darker here. So I'm basically just throwing some paint and it bleeds in the water, so it creates nice shapes. So I just took more concentrated paint on my brush and I go one more time on the edges like this. Okay, for the center of my flower I will use some burnt umber. I have some green from before, but it's okay. We'll just wash it out. And keep in mind that if your petals are not dry, then this color will probably also bleed. So now instead of using water, I am using very transparent watercolor, and then I will just do the same, but then with more concentrated paint. I will touch and let it bleed. And what I'm doing is that here on the bottom I'm just adding more dark and here less, and just let it do its job. So like this. And now let's make our butterflies. So I will add water to the whole thing, so the wings will be all wet. To make this, I have two ways. So the first one is not adding the ink, but then you can cover the whole wings with your oranges, so all these oranges, and then with a dark Payne's gray or even black watercolor you just go and paint the shapes. Or in my case, because I found it faster, I just drew with my brush pen. Okay, hopefully you could see everything. My camera just stopped filming, so I have to work on this, but I just mixed permanent red light and permanent yellow to make a nice orange color, and then I am throwing in some of the permanent red light to get these different nice colors. And what's interesting here is that I'm just working on top of the whole wing instead of just painting the small shapes. Okay, you can see how it just bleeds. So that's gonna be my butterfly. Now I will make the stem, and I will use some golden green and some hooker's green. Okay, so I go with the golden green first, and then I grab a little bit of hooker's green and touch here on the edges to give it like it's three-dimensional. So on the sides it's darker but then I'm not bothering for the shape so much, but just tapping with my brush, and then the paint bleeds, and that's everything, like just like this. And then for the body I am using again burnt umber. I will try to not touch the wings, but in case it happens then it will probably bleed, and it's okay. And then I will grab more concentrated paint, and I will touch the bottom edges like this. Okay. Before I make the background, I have to wait for this to dry. I have my heating tool that I'm gonna use. If you don't have one, just go grab some tea or have a break and wait for this to dry. Okay, now I will just make my background. I use a nice olive green, and I will mix some golden green and some hooker's green to create this nice olive green. Then I will add a little bit water, and then I will paint it. So first I just use more watery consistency of my paint, and then I can add some dark, and with this technique, wet on wet, usually cold press paper is quite nice because it holds the water for longer, so you will not have these hard lines and hard edges. So you will have more time to just work it out. And I will just go with my brush like this to make a nice interesting edge of my background. And then here. Like this. I will put a little bit here on the bottom, so this will bring up my flower. It looks a bit darker, so I will dry my brush and pick up some of this paint, and then we will continue to the other side. And if you see a hard edge, then you can work it out with your brush like this. So here you can see how it starts creating my hard edges in my background, and this is because some of my background is already dry and some other parts are just very wet, so I will move it around like this. And blend it out. And if you are okay with the hard edges, you can just leave it. Like here I have some of them, but I just wanted to show you how you can fix this by adding extra paint. But this means that you should probably go around the whole thing again, like fast and easy. And if you want to add some dark colors, you can do it while it's still wet. Like, I don't know, you want some nice different nuances here and there, just to make it more interesting. Just like this. The edge of your background, you can make it more straight, or like with these dense lines. Let's see if I will do some nice splatters without putting. I'm just talking very slow now because I'm so focused in this and trying not to mess up my flower. Okay. With making splatters, keep in mind that it's a technique that makes lots of mess. Now I want to use my brush pen one more time to darken up these black parts on the wings of my butterfly. So I will make it very sketchy, and I will darken some parts and some I will leave them as they are. You can skip this part, of course, and just go to the next step when we will add some white lines with the Jelly Roll pen. If you have a lot of water, you can dry your brush and pick it up like this, so it will dry faster. And then, yeah, don't forget to clean the brush. The last step will be the Jelly Roll pen, and let's just add some lines, and don't add them everywhere because then it will look too fake. You just want a little bit here and there. Like, let's say I will add one line here, and you add these lines where it's the darkest part next to the black lines. So it's like it brings a little bit of light, a little bit of light reflection, like this. Just not too much, and we are not drawing all the lines, but you see just 1-2 lines, and then here as well, just like this. And then let's add some in the wings. And it can be very sketchy, or it can be super precise. I like the sketchy way, so it looks more natural. So like this, and then this one, because it's in the back, it will have a tiny one. So like this, maybe here on the bottom a little bit, maybe just somewhere inside, but not too much, just like this. And then in the stem, so that was it. I hope you liked it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget that the outlines are in my Ink and Color free ebook, and you can download it from my Patreon page, so go get it and get creative. That was it for today. The free ebook Ink and Color that I made includes 15 projects, and it's available on my Patreon to be downloaded for free, so go grab it and get creative today. This one was the project from today. I loved it, and I hope you loved it too. Thank you so much for watching and being here for me. If you want more videos from me, please subscribe for my channel and push the button for the notifications so you will not miss any other video. Thank you so much again, and see you next week. Bye!